Moving out of Louisville's Clifton neighborhood, a top priority announced tonight by the company that owns the plant that exploded nearly 1 week ago. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. It was a heated, intense meeting tonight. A packed house in the Clifton neighborhood with at one point people yelling, more than 200 people packing into the United Crescent Hill Ministries. Tonight, the only applause for the company came when she said they would relocate. Night Team's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Emma Gefter are beginning our team coverage.
And while we don't know exactly what the future holds for our current site, please know that we are looking at and prioritizing other locations to continue our operations going forward.
A packed room erupting in applause as Clifton residents hear the news many had been waiting and hoping for: Givaudan's plans to look at relocating the Clifton plant.
We hear you. We are listening to you.
The first time the neighbors impacted by the massive explosion at the Givaudan plant met with the company's president, Ann Leonard, face to face.
We are happy to get invoices from you and make sure that reimbursement is handled.
Leonard said Givaudan will cover the costs of home repairs and engineers hired to assess the damage the explosion had on homes.
We haven't heard anything from you guys.
We're homeless.
Have you called yet? Do we have your information?
Some residents expressed frustrations with the lack of response from the hotline number given to them for damage, which goes through a third-party company called Belfour.
There's a good number of folks who have already been contacted. If you haven't, you should be contacted in the next, I would say, day or two.
Still, residents showed a lack of trust in the company's leader.
No one wants to buy a house next to the exploding factory.
Metro Councilperson Andrew Owen mediated the discussion.
This is my community.
In a room full of watchful eyes, asking the company to set up time to meet with residents one-on-one.
Somebody that somebody can come in and talk to and answer questions.
Absolutely.
Givaudan agreeing to have an office hour type event here at United Crescent Hill Ministries and what Councilperson Owen is calling progress.
Where you can come and meet with a representative of the company and talk to them specifically about your issues.
One of the questions left unanswered: when those one-on-ones will take place. In Clifton, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
Now more of our team coverage here on the Night Team. The company announced last week that it would be showing up at that community meeting, and for many frustrated residents, the first they've heard from them directly since the plant explosion that changed their lives. The Night Team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Levi Hammer have the give and take and the pointed questions.
I'm homeless. I'm walking out here with pain that I didn't have to deal with before.
An emotional Clifton community meeting.
We have little kids. I have a 4-year-old son. He's irritable. He's angry. His nightmares. He's not the same.
So we're heading in this direction.
People signing up for a meeting.
What I'm hoping for is accountability.
People actually lining the outside of the building, waiting to get inside to get answers after the deadly Givaudan explosion.
You're not listening to me.
And the response from the president of Givaudan, packing the room.
But there were a lot of questions that did not get answered.
Asking about cleanup and repair.
We can't report something that we can't see.
And issues with the hotline and what will be compensated.
There's some disconnect between what the message is in your third party and what you're telling us today, and that is not pretty.
And their property value.
It blows up every 20 years. Let's move there.
And people need answers.
Frustration over the response.
Nobody from the company has reached out, checked on anybody, as far as I'm aware, my street.
While Givaudan says send them the bill, there's concern about temporary housing for people in need.
They need to complete their due diligence and get these people helped without it being at any expense to them.
From a wary community.
I'm not a gambler. I don't want to gamble on them doing better next time. Just leave. Go.
Still waiting for answers. In the Clifton neighborhood, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
Now, there were many new developments on the plant explosion today. We're also learning more about one of the victims, the employee who was left behind under the debris in last Tuesday's blast in the Clifton neighborhood. Kevin Dawson Jr. would have celebrated his 50th birthday yesterday.
He's an Army man. He believes in no man left behind. Why would you leave him? Why would you leave him behind? They just left him.
My whole life, my father worked 12-hour shifts every day.
Dawson's family and their attorneys getting emotional as they demand accountability. The family says they spent hours looking for him last Tuesday, going to area hospitals and then eventually back to the scene where Dawson's body would eventually be found under the debris by Louisville firefighters. The family wants more answers on maintenance and inspection history of the equipment. They've hired prominent attorneys Ben Crump and Louisville's Lonita Baker. Right now, they have not finalized Dawson's funeral, but they are hoping to have his service before Thanksgiving. And today, we also learned the official cause of the explosion. It was a large tank known inside the plant as cooking vessel number 6. It overheated and exploded right inside the factory. In fact, we showed you photos of the tank resting against a house on Payne Street last week. Today, the ATF confirmed to WHAS11 when we showed them these photos that it is a section of tank number 6 on the side of this fourplex at 1907 Payne. The Givaudan plant sits at 1901 Payne. Within seconds, sheets of metal turned into projectiles, landing in people's homes and backyards. Brian Stalker is owner of Property Management of Louisville.
And it was leaned up against the building. It completely severed the top floor of it, and I think that is part of the structure that has made this uninhabitable. And you consider the pressure or what had to have occurred for that tank of that magnitude to be flown from there to sever this building is unthinkable.
Louisville's ATF says there is some indication that the tank was not venting properly, which led to it overheating and exploding. The ATF also said interviews with employees revealed that the tank had maintenance issues in the past. But today, the ATF also ruled the blast officially as accidental. A developing story today and now tomorrow. 4 people have been arrested in connection with the deadly shooting at Harvest Homecoming in New Albany this year. 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach was killed and 2 others were injured in the shooting back in October. The 4 arrests come after 6 raids were conducted across Louisville, Jeffersonville, and New Albany. Details are currently limited about the arrests, but we're going to learn more at a news conference with police tomorrow afternoon. That news conference in New Albany is at 1:30 p.m. WHAS 11 News will bring you the details online and right here on the air tomorrow. And new tonight, a Louisville football player is charged with her alleged domestic violence. Defensive back Tayon Holloway has been charged with felony strangulation and assault. According to an arrest citation, University of Louisville police responded to an apartment at the Province after someone called 911 and hung up. According to the citation, Holloway began punching a woman in the face after she tried to stop him from smoking marijuana and attempted to suffocate her with a pillow.